On my 17th birthday, I walked through a thunderstorm carrying my own birthday cake. My bike had broken down halfway there. My shoes were soaked. Water was dripping from my sleeves. The cake box had gone soft around the corners, and when I finally reached the private room where my childhood best friend was waiting for me, I heard the voice of the one person I had begged her not to bring. Tyler Brooks, the guy who had falsely accused me of cheating on an exam. The guy who had already tried twice to make the entire school think I was bullying him. The guy Vivian Shaw knew I couldn't stand. I stopped outside the half-open door. Tyler laughed inside. "Thanks, Vivian. Seriously, it's pouring out there and you still came all the way to pick me up." My fingers tightened around the ruined cake. Then I pushed the door open. The room went silent. Everyone was already there. Classmates, a few people I barely knew, Tyler, and Vivian, dry, clean, standing beside him. I must have looked ridiculous, the birthday boy standing in the doorway like a drowned dog, holding a cake that looked as miserable as I felt. Vivian stared at me. Her face changed immediately. "Owen." I looked at Tyler, then at her. "Why is he here?" Nobody answered, so I asked again. "Vivian, why is Tyler here?" She came toward me. "Owen, just listen first." "No." My voice shook. "Have you been with him after school these last few days?" A silence answered before she did. "Yes, but hand today." I looked at Tyler. "He just said you picked him up." "Owen, did you?" Vivian's jaw tightened. "Yes." Something inside my chest went strangely quiet. Then she reached for my hand. "Tyler wanted to apologize properly. He bought you a birthday gift. He invited everyone because he wanted witnesses. I thought if you two could finally clear up the misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" Tyler lowered his head at exactly the right angle. Vivian continued. "He really isn't a bad person." There it was. Then came the sentence I already hated. "Your classmates. There's no reason to make everything so tense." No reason. Not necessary. Don't make things ugly. She had said variations of that sentence every time Tyler hurt me. I looked down at the expensive watch on my wrist. Vivian had given it to me early because we had been fighting. She had noticed me looking at it online. The price was ridiculous, even for someone from a family like hers. It wasn't something you bought casually. A week earlier, that watch had meant so much to me that I slept with it on. Now I unclasped it. Vivian's face went pale. "Owen." I put it into her hand. She curled her fingers around it automatically. "What are you doing?" I looked at her. For once, I didn't yell. I didn't ask her to choose me. I didn't demand an explanation. I just said, "Happy birthday" to me. Then I turned around. That was the last day Vivian Shaw saw me for 9 years. And if you want to know why I left without saying goodbye, you have to go back a little further. Because Tyler didn't destroy what Vivian and I had in one afternoon. He just kept pressing the same bruise until eventually I couldn't take being touched there anymore. I had transferred into Westbridge Prep's top academic cohort midway through the year. Getting there had nearly killed me. Not literally, but academically. Pretty close. I wasn't some genius who barely studied and got perfect grades. I worked constantly. I studied after dinner, studied on weekends, studied when everyone else went out. My parents had died when I was young, and I had been raised by my grandmother in an old apartment complex. After she passed away, I suddenly had this desperate need to prove that all the sacrifices she'd made for me had meant something. So getting into Westbridge's top cohort mattered a lot. Unfortunately, I arrived as an outsider, and Tyler Brooks was already everybody's favorite. Class president, good grades, friendly, helpful, always volunteering, always smiling. The kind of guy teachers described as such a good young man. Students jokingly called him St. Tyler. If someone forgot notes, Tyler had copies. If someone needed homework help, Tyler helped. If a teacher needed boxes moved, Tyler was already standing. He had built an entire personality around being harmless. Then one day, he accused me of cheating during an exam. Not loudly. That would have been too obvious. He reported a concern. He claimed he had seen something suspicious. The rumor spread through Westbridge in less than one lunch break. By the time recess started, our classroom doorway was packed with students trying to look inside. Tyler had his head down on his desk. Several people surrounded him, comforting him. Him, not me. One girl said, "Tyler probably just made a mistake because he was trying to keep the exam fair." Another nodded. "Everybody makes mistakes. It's just a misunderstanding. Seriously. Owen doesn't need to make it a huge deal." I sat at my desk staring at them. I was the one who had been accused of cheating, yet somehow Tyler had become the victim. People kept glancing at me, waiting. They wanted me to say, "It's okay. Don't worry about it. No hard feelings." I didn't. I raised my head. "Tyler owes me an apology." The room got quieter. Someone sighed. Another person rolled their eyes. Then Tyler finally looked up. His eyes were red. "I know I was wrong." He swallowed. "I really didn't mean it." Then he gave me this miserable expression. "Sorry, okay." The way he said it was incredible. He sounded like I had dragged him onto a stage and forced him to confess to murder. I opened my mouth. Before I could say anything, Tyler abruptly stood and ran out of the classroom. Seconds later, someone screamed from the hallway. We rushed out. Tyler was sitting near the bottom of the stairs. His knee was bleeding. His face was buried in his hands. Someone whispered, "His parents were just in a car accident." Another person immediately said, "No wonder he's emotionally messed up." Then, "Why did Owen have to push him? I can't believe this." It was just one apology. I stood there frozen. I hadn't touched him. I hadn't followed him. I hadn't even finished speaking, and somehow I had still pushed him too far. People slowly moved away from me. For the first time since transferring there, I understood exactly how alone I was. Then I looked up. Vivian had just come out of the faculty office. Vivian Shaw, my childhood best friend, the person I had trusted more than anyone since I was old enough to remember. She had beautiful eyes. Normally, when she looked at everyone else, they were cool and distant. When she looked at me, there had always been something softer. Not that day. That day, I saw blame, not hatred. That almost would have been easier. Just disappointment, as if she was asking why I had to make things worse. My stomach dropped. Tyler looked up too. Vivian immediately walked over. "What happened?" Someone explained. Vivian crouched beside him. "Can you stand?" Tyler nodded weakly. She put his arm around her shoulder and helped him up. As they passed me, Tyler's eyes met mine. For half a second, the sadness vanished. He smiled. Barely. Just enough. Triumph. That was when I understood. This wasn't accidental. Tyler knew. He knew I liked Vivian. I had never confessed. But apparently I hadn't hidden it nearly as well as I thought. He knew exactly where to cut. Vivian took him to the nurse. She didn't come back to me until later that afternoon. The wind was moving her hair while she leaned against the railing outside our classroom. I stood across from her. She looked down at me. "It was just an apology." I said nothing. "Owen, why did you have to take it so seriously?" My throat tightened. I stared at her. "You really think I'm the problem?" She paused. "That's not what I said." "Then what are you saying?" "He made a mistake. He accused me of cheating." "I know. Do you?" My voice got sharper. "Because all he has to do is look sad for 5 seconds and suddenly I'm the bad guy." Vivian stared at me. I laughed without humor. "Why is that?" She seemed startled by how upset I was. For a second, her expression softened. "You didn't do anything wrong. Then why are you talking to me instead of him?" She looked away. "I just don't think there's any reason to make everything so ugly." The bell rang. Students started moving. I stayed where I was. That sentence followed me for the rest of the day. After school, Vivian disappeared. Someone passed me a message. Vivian said she had something to do. She said, "You should go home first." I nodded. That was all. The ride home wasn't long. Usually Vivian and I went together. That afternoon, every group of students I passed seemed to be riding side by side, laughing. I pedaled alone. And for some reason, I kept remembering childhood. Vivian had been famous in our old apartment complex. Everybody knew her. She came from money, but she spent enough time around our neighborhood that all the older women treated her like one of their own. She always looked cold. She wasn't, at least not with me. If another kid fought with me, Vivian was the first person there. Half the time she didn't even ask what happened. She just picked my side. I used to follow her everywhere. "Vivian, Vivian, wait, Vivian, look." Then as I got older, something changed. Calling her name started feeling different, embarrassing, too intimate. So I started using her full name, Vivian Shaw. The first time I did it, she stopped walking. She was carrying my backpack because I'd complained it was heavy. She looked over one shoulder. "Oh." I pretended not to understand. "What? Your wings finally grew." She narrowed her eyes. "You're calling me by my full name now." I felt caught. So naturally, I handled it with all the maturity available to a teenage boy. "Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw." I kept saying it until she looked like she wanted to hit me with my own backpack. I thought she would tease me. Instead, she stared for a long moment, then sighed. "Fine." She looked strangely helpless. "I can't control you anymore." Back then, I thought we had endless time. That night after the cheating accusation, I rode home and looked behind me 99 times. Okay, maybe not literally 99, but close. Vivian never appeared. The next morning, she was waiting for me as usual, for some stupid reason. That made everything feel okay again. On the way to school, I tried to sound casual. What were you doing yesterday? Something came up. That's it. Yeah, she didn't explain. I pretended I didn't care. Then we walked into class. Tyler looked up. He smiled directly at Vivian. Morning. Vivian nodded. Then Tyler added, and, seriously, thanks for walking me home yesterday. I stopped. His smile was beautiful, polite, completely harmless. I had never wanted to punch a smile before. Apparently, there was a first time for everything. I looked at Vivian. She didn't look at me. So that was her something. Tyler. I ignored her the entire day. At lunch, Vivian tried sitting beside me. I moved. During break, Tyler suddenly came over carrying a mug of hot water. Owen. I looked up. I wanted to apologize again. Before I could answer, the mug hit the floor. It shattered. Hot water splashed across Tyler's ankle. He screamed. The entire classroom turned. Tyler stared down at the broken mug like he couldn't believe what had happened, then looked at me. I just wanted to apologize. His voice cracked. Every eye in the room moved to me. Again. Same trick. Different prop. I stood. Tyler's face changed. I grabbed his wrist. Great. What? Let's go. Where? To the office. He immediately resisted. Owen. There are cameras. His face went pale. We'll ask the school to pull the footage. I didn't say you did anything. You didn't have to. I pulled him toward the door. Let's see whether I touched that cup. Suddenly Tyler didn't want justice anymore. He pulled harder. Forget it. I probably didn't hold it properly. No. Seriously. It's fine. No. I had taken 2 steps when someone blocked me. Enough. Every muscle in my body went rigid. Vivian. Again. I looked at her. She seemed tired. Impatient. Owen. Class is about to start. I almost laughed. That's your problem. What? Class. Don't start. That phrase did it. Something I'd been swallowing since the previous day finally came up. I shoved her hand away when she reached for me. What the hell is wrong with you? Vivian froze. The entire room did. I had almost never yelled at her. Why do I have to keep getting accused of things I didn't do? Owen. Why? She stared. And every time it happens, you tell me it's nothing. My voice shook. Maybe it's nothing to you. I pointed at myself. It matters to me. For 3 seconds, Vivian looked completely lost. Then her voice lowered. That isn't what I meant. Tyler suddenly spoke. It really was my fault. Everyone turned. I didn't hold the cup properly. Of course, now that cameras had been mentioned, St. Tyler wanted peace. Nobody defended him this time. That almost made it worse, because it proved everyone knew something was wrong. I sat down. My face was burning. Vivian quietly put a packet of tissues on my desk. Owen. I ignored her. For the next few days, she stayed close, almost annoyingly close. If I left class, she followed. If I went to lunch, she appeared. If I walked home fast, she walked faster. I was still angry, but I was 17, and in love. That combination makes you embarrassingly easy to manipulate. One afternoon, I tried leaving without her. Vivian caught my sleeve. Wait. I turned. There was a box in her other hand. She opened it. Inside was a watch. I recognized it immediately. I had looked at it online several times, then immediately closed the page because the price made me feel poor. Even Vivian wouldn't have bought something like that without thinking about it. I stared. Why? She took my wrist. Stop being mad at me. Vivian. She fastened it. I immediately tried taking it off. No. She stopped me. I was going to give it to you anyway. My birthday isn't yet. Then you're getting it early. I kept my face as cold as possible. Inside, I was melting. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. That night, I went home and insulted myself for nearly 10 minutes. Then my phone rang. It was my Aunt, Grace. Since Grandma died, Aunt Grace had been asking me to move in with her and transfer schools. How much longer are you going to stay there? I stared at Vivian's watch. A little while. You sure? Yeah. Why? I was quiet. After Grandma died, only one thing still made that city feel like home. Vivian. I just want to stay a little longer. After that, Vivian stopped mentioning Tyler around me. I assumed she had stopped seeing him too. I was wrong. On my birthday, someone casually mentioned that Vivian and Tyler had been going out together after school for several days. My stomach dropped. Outside, thunder rolled. Rain hammered against the windows. Vivian was supposed to pick up my cake that afternoon. She called instead. Something came up. What? Can you get the cake? Vivian, I heard you've been. I have to go. The call ended. I stared at my phone, then told myself I would ask her in person. I was still doing that, making excuses, giving her one more chance. I picked up the cake. By the time I came outside, the rain had gotten worse. Then my bike broke. The party location wasn't impossibly far away, so I ran. One hand held an umbrella, the other held the cake. Neither worked particularly well. By the time I reached that door and heard Tyler thanking Vivian for personally picking him up, I already knew. I just didn't want to know. Inside, when Vivian told me Tyler was there because he wanted to sincerely apologize, something finally snapped. He had bought a gift, invited witnesses, apparently spent several days convincing Vivian he wanted to make peace, and Vivian, knowing how much I hated being around him, decided my birthday was the perfect place to trap me into reconciliation. He's really not bad, she told me. Don't make this more tense than it needs to be. I looked at her. For the first time, I didn't see the girl who had protected me in every fight when we were children. I saw someone who would rather make me uncomfortable than let Tyler feel embarrassed. So I took off the watch, returned it. Then I left. No screaming, no dramatic breakup, nothing. At home, I gathered anything that made me think of Vivian. Old notes, cheap souvenirs, photos, little things I'd kept for years because they meant something to me and probably nothing to anyone else. I threw away what I could, packed the rest of my life. Aunt Grace handled my transfer paperwork. She later told me something strange happened at school. During class, a girl suddenly ran outside when she saw my transfer paperwork being processed. Vivian. She kept asking Aunt Grace where I'd gone. Again. Aunt Grace asked me later, was it your really close friend? I looked down. No. I paused. Not anymore. Aunt Grace never gave her my address. I changed my number, blocked what I could, and disappeared. 9 years passed. I finished high school, went to college, graduated with better results than I expected. Then I joined a corporate development firm. For the first time in my life, I had nothing distracting me. No Vivian, no Tyler, no constantly checking whether someone was waiting for me. I worked hard. Within 3 years, I had been promoted into a position people usually took much longer to reach. My co-worker Marcus Reed never let me forget it. We were standing inside a massive ballroom at a business reception when he nudged me. Your way to come. About what? He looked around. The room was filled with executives, investors and people whose watches probably cost more than my first car. Half the people here could buy our department. So, you're not nervous? I shrug. We're nobodies. Marcus stared. You joined 3 years ago and already have a job people wait 10 years for. He pointed at me. You are not a nobody. Before I could answer, the front of the ballroom erupted. People started whispering. Then I heard a name. Vivian Shaw. My entire body locked. Marcus whispered, no way. I slowly looked up. There she was, 9 years older, different, and somehow exactly the same. She wore a tailored suit that probably cost more than my monthly salary. People surrounded her. Vivian had done incredibly well. Her family had always been wealthy, but she had built something of her own too. A successful company. Articles had called her one of the city's most promising young founders. Executives twice her age were smiling at her like they desperately wanted something. I turned around. Immediate instinct. Leave. I got maybe 3 steps. Owen Carter. My hope died. The room around me seemed to get quieter. I stopped. Behind me, heels clicked against the floor. Vivian walked through the crowd until she stood several feet away. She stared at me. Her eyes were colder than I remembered. But underneath that, something else. She smiled without humor. Interesting. I said nothing. You've been hiding from me for 9 years. People nearby started looking between us. Marcus's face said, what the hell did you do? I took 1 step backward. Vivian noticed. Her expression tightened. You still want to run from me? I looked at her. 9 years earlier, I would have been shaking. Now I just felt tired. Run from you? Yes. I smiled. Who are you that I need to run from? Several people nearby stopped breathing. Vivian went pale. Who am I? I should have stopped. I didn't. Old humiliation has a long memory. I looked straight at her. Vivian Shaw. What the hell are you to me? Her eyes hardened. Say that again. The tension around us was so ridiculous. Marcus eventually found an excuse to pull me away. Outside, cold air hit my face. He handed me water. Okay. I drank. What? What was that? Nothing. That woman looked like she wanted to murder you and cry at the same time. I'm leaving. You're not answering me. Another day. I reached the parking lot. My phone buzzed. Marcus, ***, you left and Miss Shaw left right after you. Didn't even look back, ***. My heart started beating faster. Then I heard footsteps. Of course, Vivian had followed. She stopped in front of me, breathing harder than she wanted me to notice. You did it again. I stared. Did what? Left without saying anything. Her voice sharpened. Are you seriously doing that again? I leaned against my car. What do you want? 9 years. She laughed bitterly. You disappear for 9 years, and that's what you ask me. I didn't disappear. Then why did you transfer without one word? I said nothing. Why did you block me? Her eyes were already getting red. If I hadn't found you tonight, were you really planning to spend the rest of your life pretending I never existed? Ancient history. I shrug. Who remembers? Something in Vivian broke. You don't remember. Her voice dropped. Owen. How can you not remember? I laughed. Why should I? She froze. Why should I remember being humiliated? My voice hardened. Why should I remember standing in the rain like an idiot? Why should I remember being accused of things I didn't do well? The one person I trusted kept telling me it wasn't important. Vivian went completely pale. Of course I'm nobody. Her voice shook. But you don't get to forget. I stared at her. That sentence felt like a punch directly into my 17-year-old chest. I turned away. Vivian blocked me. Do you know how long I looked for you? I said nothing. Do you know how happy I was tonight? Before she could finish, something shattered nearby. We both turned. Tyler. He stood several yards away. Older. Still handsome. Still wearing that same carefully wounded expression. A broken item lay near his shoes. In one hand, he held Vivian's coat. So they were still together. Of course they were. Tyler looked at us, then smiled at me. Owen. His voice was friendly. Long time no see. He stepped closer. I never got to apologize properly after you transferred. Then, with the subtlety of a billboard, he reached over and hooked his arm around Vivian's. Territorial. Exactly like high school. I almost admired his consistency. Vivian immediately pulled away. Tyler's face changed. She looked at him. Tyler. Her voice was ice. I told you before. If you want to keep working at my company, stop saying things that can be misunderstood. He went pale. Vivian. Are you still mad about what happened before? He reached for her sleeve. I told you it won't happen again. Let's go home and talk. She ignored him, then looked at me. Years ago, something happened and Tyler helped save my family. I frowned. My mother arranged his position at my company afterward. Owen. Tyler tried interrupting. Vivian continued. There has never been anything between us. Vivian, stop. Tyler moved closer. Let's go. She didn't even look at him. I have never dated him. The two of them started talking over each other. Tyler was panicking. Vivian was explaining. My head started hurting. Eventually Vivian grabbed my wrist. Her fingers were tight. Owen. I looked down. What do I have to do for you to forgive me? I pulled free. She stared. I never forgot you. I laughed softly. 9 years earlier. I would have given everything to hear that. Now, stop pretending. Then I got in my car and left. The next morning, our company group chat exploded. ***, who owns the black Bentley out front? ***, look at that plate. ***, owner just got out. ***, she's gorgeous. ***, also terrifying. I sat up in bed. My sleep disappeared. By the time I reached work, the Bentley was still there. So was Vivian. She leaned against it with her head lowered. The second I approached, she looked up. She had been waiting. Owen. I stopped. Can we talk? About what? A lot of things. I laughed. We have nothing left to talk about. Vivian looked at me seriously. I have 9 years of things to say to you, and if I don't want to hear them. She was quiet for 2 seconds. Then, you know, patience is the one thing I've never lacked. Suit yourself. I walked inside. She stayed there. Morning became afternoon. Afternoon became evening. A cold autumn drizzle started. Vivian opened an umbrella and kept waiting. Marcus and Lily Hart, the new intern assigned to my team, kept looking out the window. Lily was still finishing college. Rich family. Flashy personality. Absolutely no fear. She leaned toward the glass. Is she really here for you? Marcus drank coffee. Apparently. Lily clicked her tongue. What did she do? Why do you assume she did something? Look at her. Lily pointed. Standing outside somebody's workplace all day in the rain. That's guilt behavior. Marcus nodded thoughtfully. You're learning. Lily crossed her arms. This is public emotional blackmail. Then she added, women are terrible. Marcus slowly looked at her. Aren't you a woman? You can't include me. Why? I'd never make Owen mad. She nodded solemnly. I'd only love him. I looked away from both of them. Idiots. When everyone finally went home, Vivian was still downstairs. I turned off my computer, then quietly escaped through the back door. That night, Marcus created a group chat with Lily. For some reason, both of them became obsessed with extracting the entire Vivian story from me. I was brushing my teeth when the unread count passed 999. Before bed, Lily messaged privately, **** Owen. Want me to get revenge for you? ***. Lily enjoyed talking nonsense. I replied, ***, go to sleep. ***. The next morning, Vivian came back. Then something even more ridiculous happened. Marcus returned from downstairs, looking disturbed. I narrowed my eyes. What did she do? She wants your contact. No. Yeah, I figured. He pointed toward the window. The problem is she's offering $3,000 to whoever gives it to her. I stared. My phone vibrated. A message from someone in another department. ***, sorry, Owen. It was a lot of money. I'm weak. ***. Immediately after. ***, new contact request. ***, name. ***, Vivian Shaw. ***, message. ***, it's me. ***. I rubbed my temples. Before I could process that, people throughout the office started screaming. Again. We rushed toward the windows. A brightly colored sports car had pulled up beside Vivian's Bentley. So close the two cars looked ready to start fighting before their owners did. The door opened. Lily stepped out wearing sunglasses. My eyebrow twitched. Oh no. She looked up toward our window, then toward Vivian. She smirked, raised one hand, and made a gesture that definitely did not mean welcome to the neighborhood. I ran downstairs. By the time I got there, they had already gotten into a scuffle. Security had separated them. Lily had a cut near the corner of her mouth. Vivian's face looked worse. Lily immediately walked toward me. Her voice became suspiciously sweet. Owen, I'm fine. She touched her lip. She started it, but I hit back. Something in me flared. I looked at Vivian. Can you stop? Vivian stared. No matter what Lily said, you didn't have to start a fight. The second the words left my mouth, Vivian's entire face changed. Not anger. Shock. Real shock. Her cheek was bruised. She barely seemed to notice. You think I started it? I looked away. Lily gave a small hiss beside me. Owen, really? It's okay. It'll heal. Vivian stared at me like she had been slapped a second time. So you don't even ask? Her voice shook. She says one sentence, and you decide I'm guilty. I froze. For a fraction of a second, I was 17 again, standing in a classroom, asking why she believed Tyler. I shoved the memory down. We can talk after work. Lily immediately held out her hand. Owen, my hand hurts. Vivian looked at her, then at me. I don't think I can drive. Lily lowered her eyes. But if you need to talk to Miss Shaw, it's okay. I can deal with it. I looked at Lily. I'll drive you. Vivian went still. The light in her eyes slowly disappeared. On the way, Lily sat quietly for several minutes, then confessed. I started it. I glanced at her. What? She didn't hit first. I sighed. Lily looked unashamed. I wanted her to experience it. Experience what? Being blamed without anybody asking. I tightened my hands around the steering wheel. She did that to you when you were younger, right? I didn't answer. Lily smiled faintly. So now she knows. Don't do that again. She looked at me. Fine. I glanced at her injured mouth. And stop getting your face damaged. Her eyes widened. That face is too expensive to waste. Lily grinned for the rest of the ride. When I returned, the sky was almost black. Vivian was still there, standing alone. For one stupid second, she looked like something abandoned. Then I reminded myself, Vivian had never belonged to me. I walked over. You wanted to talk. She stared at me. I didn't start it. I sighed. That doesn't matter anymore. It matters. She was stubborn now. You never used to take someone else's side against me. I almost laughed. That was a long time ago. She flinched. People change. I looked at her. And Lily isn't an outsider to me now. A pause. You are. Vivian repeated the word quietly. Outsider. Then she looked down and smiled. It was the saddest smile I had ever seen on her. When we were 17, her voice became rough. Those days before your birthday, yes, I was with Tyler. I stayed quiet. He kept coming to me, because he wanted to apologize to you. Vivian swallowed. I knew you hated seeing him. That's why I didn't tell you. I stared. On your birthday, he said he bought a gift. He invited everyone, because he wanted them to witness him apologizing. I thought. She closed her eyes briefly. I thought if I helped you to clear it up, it would finally be over. Then she looked at me again. Tyler and I never had anything between us. I nodded. Okay. Vivian's expression changed. I understand. I pulled my coat tighter. Done. She stared. It's cold. Go home. Her eyes suddenly filled with tears. That's it. What else? You disappear for 9 years, without explaining anything. Her voice cracked. And now that I finally explain, you have nothing to say. I almost laughed, because after transferring, I had spent countless nights asking myself the exact question she had finally answered. Why? Why would Vivian, who had protected me my entire childhood, suddenly believe a boy she barely knew? Why did Tyler's feelings matter more? Why did she keep doing it even after I told her it hurt? 4 years. I couldn't forget her. Vivian had existed in every corner of my life, every road home, every convenience store, every stupid memory. Then eventually, painfully, she stopped. And now that I genuinely no longer needed the answer, she had brought it to me. It doesn't matter. I looked at her. Everything's clear now. Then I said, Vivian, let's end it here. No. She moved forward suddenly and wrapped her arms around me. Her fingers clenched against my coat. For a second, I thought she was going to cry. Owen. Her voice trembled beside my ear. After you transferred, I looked everywhere. I stayed still. That birthday. She took a shaky breath. I didn't know the rain would get that bad. I didn't know you'd have to walk. I shouldn't have asked you to get the cake. I shouldn't have agreed to Tyler's plan. I've thought about it 4 years. I pulled back enough to look at her. You keep saying I didn't give you a chance to explain. Vivian froze. Was that really the problem? What? How many times did you take Tyler's side? Her face went pale. You were always the smartest person I knew. I stared into her eyes. So tell me something. Could you really not tell when Tyler was lying? She couldn't answer. That was answer enough. I'm sorry. Tears finally slipped down her face. It won't happen again. She gripped my coat. Please. Her voice dropped. Don't disappear from me again. I went to city after city looking for you. I had never seen Vivian cry before. Not once. She had always been proud down to the bone. The girl I grew up following could solve almost every problem I created. Back then, I never imagined a future where I voluntarily walked away from her. But dependency is dangerous. If you lean all your weight on one person and they move, you fall. I had fallen. Hard. It took years before the bruises stopped hurting. I gently removed her arms. Let it end here. She stared. Vivian, don't come looking for me anymore. Her eyes were red. Her face was white. She couldn't speak. I turned around. Behind me, I heard her voice. So quiet I almost missed it. I can't. After that, the Bentley disappeared from outside our office. But Vivian did not disappear. Every morning, someone from a florist arrived. Owen Carter. That's me. These are for you. Fresh flowers. Every day. At lunch, a delivery driver came from my favorite restaurant. Marcus stared at the packaging. Wait. He leaned closer. Isn't this that insanely expensive place we like? The employee smiled. Mr. Carter is now one of our highest tier VIP clients. I frowned. What? If there are any ingredients or dishes you prefer, please contact us anytime. It wasn't only that restaurant. Every store I had regularly used suddenly had my name in its VIP system. Coffee shop, clothing store, restaurants. Then I got a call about my home loan. The remaining balance had been paid. I nearly dropped the phone. Vivian. Obviously. I contacted her repeatedly. I'm paying you back. No, I didn't ask you to do this. I know. Then undo it. You can't undo a paid mortgage. Vivian. Consider it repayment. For what? A pause. My mistakes. I rubbed my forehead. I don't want it. She refused anyway. The next time I saw her in person was during a company camping trip. Our boss had chosen a mountain area because a rare meteor shower was supposed to appear that night. Marcus and Lily talked through almost the entire drive. By the time we arrived, I wanted to throw both of them into the woods. Then I saw another corporate group nearby. Vivian's company. Of course. She stood at a distance in outdoor clothes, looking cold and composed again. For a moment, the woman who had cried in front of me felt imaginary. She caught my eye, then smiled. What a coincidence. Lily, who was grilling meat, laughed. A coincidence. She pointed with the tongs. Your headquarters is like 1,000 miles from here. Vivian nodded calmly. Our branch is nearby. Lily narrowed her eyes. Since when? Recently. How recently? Vivian looked at her. Very. Lily rolled her eyes so hard I was worried they might not come back. Vivian's group had brought almost twice as many supplies as ours. Food, drinks, camping equipment. Our boss had wanted a partnership with Vivian's company for a while, so he was thrilled. Vivian casually suggested combining the groups. He accepted immediately. Lily glared at him. You sold us out. Our boss took a piece of meat from the grill. Free resources. Then bit into it. Why would I refuse? Lily deliberately gave him the most burned piece she could find. Among Vivian's employees, I saw Tyler. He was quieter than before. He looked at Vivian constantly, but he didn't rush toward her. For a while, things were normal. I stood near the grill. Vivian came over. Need help? Before I answered, she took several skewers from me. Fat hissed against the heat. She looked at me. How have you been? Fine. Everything okay? Yeah, she nodded. That's good. I could feel Tyler watching us. Eventually, he approached. I thought maybe age had finally improved him. I was wrong. A bowl of hot soup suddenly fell. Tyler cried out. Everyone turned. Soup had splashed across his hand. He stared at me. The same expression. The same little pause. The same trick from high school. I almost laughed. 9 years. And this idiot had learned nothing. But before I could speak, Marcus and Lily were already there. Lily stared at Tyler. Seriously. Marcus folded his arms. You're doing this here. Tyler blinked. What? Lily pointed around. This is our company outing. She laughed. Owen is our guy. You think you can randomly frame him here? I didn't. And honestly, she leaned closer. Even if Owen did pour it on you, I'd assume you deserved it. Tyler's face turned white. This was not the outcome he remembered from school. Back then, I had been the outsider. Now I wasn't. People knew me, trusted me, and more importantly, Vivian stepped between us. She looked at Tyler. No softness, no hesitation. Go back to the office. His lips parted. What? Write your resignation. He went pale. Vivian. Then find another city. Nobody spoke. Tyler looked around desperately. Nobody came to save him. For the first time, St. Tyler had no audience willing to perform the miracle. I noticed a cup of cold water beside me. I picked it up, then poured it over his head. Tyler jerked backward. His eyes widened. I smiled. This time, I held up the empty cup. That actually was me. Everyone stared. You've wanted me to pour something on you for years. I shrug. I'd hate to disappoint you forever. Lily burst out laughing. Even Marcus turned away to hide his face. Tyler left soaked. Good. The meteor shower never appeared. The wind got colder instead. At some point, I went to get a scarf. The area was dark. I stepped wrong on the uneven path. My ankle folded. Pain shot straight up my leg. I dropped to the ground. Damn it. Footsteps came quickly. Then Vivian was beside me. Owen. She crouched. What happened? Nothing. You're sitting on the ground. I noticed. She touched my ankle carefully. I hissed. Her face changed. Without arguing, she helped me up and took most of my weight. Cars couldn't reach that section of the mountain, so we had to go down on foot. Step after step. Vivian kept asking. Does it hurt? No, it absolutely did. A lot. Eventually I stopped talking because talking required energy I preferred to spend on not swearing. Vivian seemed to understand, so she talked instead. Childhood, our old apartment complex, grandma, school, random things I remembered, random things I didn't. Then she asked, do you remember the watch? I opened my eyes. What watch? She gave me a look. I sighed. Yes, the birthday one. Yes, Vivian. She smiled faintly. I still have it. I looked over. What? It's in my cabinet. Why? She ignored that. You always wondered how I knew you liked it, didn't you? I had. I just never asked. Vivian looked ahead. The first time you saw it online, I noticed. You looked at it longer than everything else. She smiled. So I started preparing. My throat tightened unexpectedly. For a while, only our footsteps and the wind filled the darkness. Then Vivian said, after you ran out that birthday, I didn't stop her. I followed. I looked at her. But I got a call. Her voice lowered. There was an emergency at home. I had to go back immediately. For the next few days, everything was chaos. She swallowed. But I kept thinking, once it was over, I'd find you. I thought. She laughed softly. I thought I'd let you yell at me as long as you wanted. I'd apologize. I'd never make you angry again. Her smile disappeared. Then you vanished. She had called, blocked, messaged, blocked, She thought I was still angry, so she bought another birthday cake. Then she went to my old home and waited all day. Then into the night. The cake slowly melted. The door never opened. Later, during class, she saw Aunt Grace at school handling my transfer paperwork. That was when she realized this wasn't one of our normal fights. She ran out of class, begged Aunt Grace for the address, again and again. Aunt Grace refused. You transferred without saying one word. Vivian's voice sounded almost accusing. Not even goodbye. I looked down at the dark trail. I didn't know what to say, so I changed the subject. Stop buying things for me. Vivian went quiet. The VIP accounts. No answer. And the mortgage. Her body stiffened slightly. I'm paying you back. She stopped walking. Owen. What? Do you hate having contact with me that much? I looked at her. I don't like owing people. You don't owe me. You took care of me a lot when we were kids. My voice softened. So call everything even. Her expression changed. No, Vivian. I don't want even. She started walking again. Her fingers were trembling. Maybe from the cold. Maybe not. My ankle hurt enough that my eyes were watering. After a while, I said, I'm leaving the city. Vivian stopped again. What? Our company is opening another branch. I looked ahead. The boss wants me to lead it. Her entire body seemed to go rigid. The wind moved through the trees. Vivian inhaled, then asked in a voice I barely recognized, leaving again. Yeah. She didn't say anything else. She just kept helping me down. Vivian took me all the way to the hospital. Registration, imaging, medication, everything. Eventually, I was lying in a hospital bed while she sat beside me. The room was quiet. Vivian watched me for so long it became uncomfortable, like she was trying to memorize my face. Finally she smiled. It was an awful smile. When are you coming back? I looked at her. Who knows? Her eyes moved. If things go well, maybe sometime. I paused. Maybe never. Vivian swallowed. I had never seen her look that sad. Then, her voice was almost nothing. Will we see each other again? I pulled the blanket higher, then shook my head. Probably not. Whatever light was still in her eyes disappeared. She looked down. A long time passed. Then one quiet word came from her throat. Okay. The day I left, it snowed. The air hurt to breathe. I pulled my suitcase behind me. I knew Vivian was there. Behind me. Not far. I didn't need to turn around. I could feel her. Once, I had built almost my entire emotional world around one person. That was a terrifying thing to do. I learned that when I was 17. I leaned too hard. She moved. I fell, and it took years before I could stand normally again. Maybe Vivian really had searched for me. Maybe she really regretted everything. Maybe she had loved me in her own stupid, selfish, stubborn way all along. None of that changed the rain. None of it changed the classroom. None of it changed how many times I had looked at her while she defended Tyler and wondered why I wasn't worth defending anymore. People love saying broken things can be repaired. Sometimes they can, but repaired doesn't mean restored. A mirror can be glued back together. The cracks are still there. I didn't hate Vivian. That was probably the clearest proof that I had finally moved on. I just didn't want to become that 17-year-old boy again. So I tightened my grip on the suitcase handle and kept walking. One step, then another. The snow kept falling. Vivian stayed somewhere behind me. I never turned around. Not once. This story is entirely fictional and created for entertainment purposes. All characters, relationships, workplaces, medical circumstances, financial events, investigations, and legal outcomes are invented for dramatic storytelling.